Hey everybody, welcome back to Squarebox Games. Today we have Psylocke from Marvel Champions. She just came out a few days ago. I'm excited to play with her. So we're gonna open her up together and see what's in store. As I always forget that there's a little bit of tape right there. She's part of the next evolution wave. I think, what has Cable and Bishop in it? I can't remember who's in that box, but she came out at the same time as Angel. Two of them came out together. And then we'll get X-23 and Deadpool in the next wave. But there's Psylocke right there. We're gonna have our normal poster on this side. Still need to figure out what to do with this. Oh, cool. So, she's got a new card type of player side schemes, so you can read all about those. There's a lot of player side schemes in this wave. She has piercing, range, she's got team up, victory. There she is. She's got her energy blades, and she is going to be a justice aspect for her default deck, her pre-con. So let's open it up here. As this takes me forever to get open, but hey. Happens to the best of us. While I'm doing this, let's do the typical YouTube thing. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, you should. That means a lot to us at the channel. We're a small channel, so it's always awesome. I get excited every time I see a new subscriber. And then hit that notification bell as well so you can watch our new videos. But anyway, let's not waste any more time. Let's start on the alter ego side. Betsy Braddock, recovery of 3, hand size is 6, hit points 10, that's not bad. She's a mutant. Psionic manifestation. Setup, put your 2 Psi energy upgrades into play. The knife, Psi knife, side face up. And then as an action, you can exhaust one of your Psi energy upgrades and shuffle 1 Psionic card from your discard pile back into your deck. So she's going to be all about getting those Psi cards back from your discard pile and use them again and again. 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense, not bad. Hand size is only 4. Wow, that's a change of 2. Has that ever happened before? It's usually just 1 less on the hero side. That's pretty rough. Psi energy control, interrupt. When you use one of Psylocke's basic powers, flip one of your Psi energy upgrades. So let's see what all those are about. So these are your Psi energy. I'm just gonna do them side by side here so we can see both. Yeah, let's see, maybe I'll make it happen. So these are just out, you don't have to pay for them. So on the katana, we'll start with the knife side, what do you say? Because that's the side it says to start with. It's a permanent. She gets 1 thwart. So that'll give her 2/1/2. You can exhaust it to generate a science resource, and then you may flip the card. So that's just a hero resource. You don't have to tap or anything like that. You just exhaust this card. And then the other side is the Psykatana, also a permanent restricted. These are both weapons, by the way. She gets base 1, +1 to her attack, and her basic attacks gain piercing. So that'll give her 2, 1, and 2. But I guess if you had them both flipped at the same time, you would have +2 attack. Likewise, +2 thwart. So really, she's going to start the game with 3 thwart, 1 attack, and 2 defense, and can be 1, 3, 2, I think. But likewise, you can exhaust this to generate a aggression resource, the fist, then you can flip the card. So those are just out. That's kind of her setup. I guess that makes up for the fact that her hand size is so small. You don't have to waste as many of your hand cards on resources. So Angel is her iconic hero, or her ally here. Cost 3 health, 1 thwart to attack. After you play Angel from your hand, ready your identity. Nice. Probably just go more so through all of her kit cards here, and then cut through the aspect cards a little quicker. Theory of Blades. Deal 2 damage to an enemy for each Psi knife you control. Choose an enemy and confuse it. For each Psykatana you control, choose an enemy and deal 2 damage to it. That's awesome. You get 3 of those. Mental detection. A thwart to remove 1 threat from the scheme for each Psi Knife you have in control, remove 2 additional threat from that scheme. For each Psi Katana you control, draw a card. I'm really liking this setup so far. Psionic Redirect, it's the defense. So you've got an attack, authority, and a defense card here. Basically prevent 2 damage when you're attacked for each Katana you control, prevent 2 more damage for each Psi Knife you control, confuse. So leaning into Justice pretty hard here with a lot of ways to confuse your enemy. Telepathic Suggestion. Hero Interrupt. When you reveal a card from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects. For each Psi Katana you control, choose an enemy and deal 2 damage to it. For each Psi Knife you control, choose a scheme and remove 1 threat from it. Training Regimen. Exhaust Training Regimen. Search your deck for a skill card and add it to your hand. If you're in hero form, discard a card from your hand. Martial Arts Training. Get +1 defense. When she defends against an attack, you discard this and ready her. Psionic Training. Okay, so we're going to have multiple. That's Martial Arts. This is Psionic. She ignores the guard and patrol keywords. That's nice. And then you would discard that after she thwarts to confuse an enemy. And then Weapons Training. She gets Retaliate 1. Same thing, when she attacks, you would discard that and ready every weapon you control. That's nice, so that can give you even more resources because those are weapons. All right, now on to her aspect cards here, which is Justice. You get Captain Britain. And I don't like, he takes 2 consequential damage for each one of those. 3 and 3, which is pretty strong. He costs 4, but he takes -1 consequential damage after he thwarts a side scheme or attacks a minion. Gotcha. So he is definitely made to do side schemes and minions, which could be player side schemes as well. Cypher, part of the X-Force, which he is not. 1/1. After he attacks and damages a confused enemy, draw a card, which should be pretty easy to do with all the kit cards you have right here. Concussive Blow, confuse an enemy. You could potentially do more damage to them. Upside the Head. After you make a basic attack and damage an enemy, confuse them. If they're already confused, stun them. A lot of ways to confuse your enemy here. Ooh, here we go. This is a player side scheme. Lay the Trap. Victory 0. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme deals 5 damage per player to the villain. That's really good. So 6 thwart gives you 10 damage in a 2-player game, or 3 thwart gives you 5 damage in a single-player game. I feel like that's really good, especially with how easily you can thwart with her kit with this Justice stuff. Float like a Butterfly. When a character you control attacks a confused enemy, increase the amount of damage that attack deals by 1. And that's a skill. A lot of options there. Now on to the basic cards. Pete Wisdom, X-Force. After you resolve the when revealed effect of a treachery card, heal damage from them. Not bad. Especially because you can do quite a bit of attacking there with only 1 consequential damage. Directed Force. When your hero makes an attack that has the keyword Overkill, Piercing, or Range, the attack deals 2 additional damage. Nice. She's got Piercing. Soaring Hearts, Ariel, Psionic. Team up Angel and Psylocke. Search your discard pile for an identity-specific event and add it to your hand. Then ready Angel and Psylocke. Nice. Power of the Mind. Double the resources for while paying for a Psionic card, which is like every one of her cards in her kit besides her ally. iPack. Exhaust it and do 1 face down encounter card to a player. That player draws 2 cards. X Bunker. Exhaust it and choose a player whose identity has the mutant trait. That player searches the top X cards in their deck for any card where X is the number of side schemes in the victory display. Interesting. Telepathy. Exhaust that and spend 2 science resources to remove 2 threat from a scheme. Interesting. And then we're on to her obligation here. Body Swapped. You cannot flip your Psi Katana upgrades. When revealed, flip each of your Psi energy upgrades to its Katana side and exhaust it. And as an alter ego action, you can discard a Psionic card from your hand to discard this. So there's no way to remove it from the game, just a discard. Now the Nemesis, Chimera, a Marauder. 1 and 1, not super strong there, but 5 defense. But this is where it's going to kill us. When Chimera activates against you, she gets plus X scheme and attack for this activation. X is the number of science resources on cards you control. Yikes. So if you get the Psy Knives out, it's going to be a lot. You want to take her down quick. Alright, Interdimensional Plunder is the side scheme. Place 1 threat here for each upgrade in play. So it's going to be at least a 4. It's going to start with 2, and then that gives an acceleration token. So you'll start with 4 there, but that shouldn't be too hard to get rid of with all of her scheming ability. Sonic Illusion, when you attack an enemy, name a resource type, then discard the top card of your deck. If it doesn't match, change the target of this attack to a friendly character of your choice. Interesting. Telekinetic Dragon. 2 of those. And then Stop. That is all of the pre-built deck. Now these are going to be extra cards. Just like every other thing. You're going to get an Aggression. Do 4 damage to an enemy. The attack gains range. So if you want to switch her to Aggression, perfect card there. A Leadership of Domino. After you use one of your Domino, that's the other one in the basic box. It's Cable and Domino. It's usually a male and a female. I don't know why I couldn't think of the female. After you use one of the Domino's basic powers, swap a card in your hand with the top card of your deck. Then Protection, Psy Flail Strike. After you defend against an enemy attack, deal 3 damage to it and stun it. And then Telekinesis. Play only if our identity has the psionic trait. I think we had that, so you can throw that into some other decks if you want. So that is Psylocke. Not a character that in the comics and stuff I really paid too much attention to, but when I saw her kit previewed by Fantasy Flight, I'm like, man, looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I like just being able to start the game with extra stuff. So being able to start like that with those out, extra resource draw is pretty nice. I think the downside obviously is that small hand size of only 4 while you're in hero mode, but I feel like with her other resource generation it won't be too bad, and then you can cycle the cards out you want. But that's just a quick overview. If you've already played with Psylocke, let us know how she is. We obviously haven't played with her yet because we just got her. I'm deciding who I want to put her up against first, maybe Crossbones or Taskmaster. Those are one of the 2 I usually start against just to see how things go. But I won't take any of your more time. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all that fun stuff. But until then, most importantly, you guys go play some games.